Hey guys, Levelcap here, and today I want to talk about my thoughts on the most recent patch update along with the general state of Battlefield 5. If you missed my Battlefield store review from yesterday, check it out. I won't be going over the new Battlefield currency today, but more focus on the general game balance, Firestorm balance, progression system, and so forth. First of all, the thing I was looking forward to the most with the latest patch was the loot drop fix. This is not the final solution for the loot drop fix, but rather a band-aid fix to make it more playable until the real solution can be implemented. This is for Firestorm. The design of this fix prevents loot from falling on top of itself, making it a little easier to pick out the items you need from the loot pile. In that respect, the update does work. It's still not great, but it's potentially better than what we had before. However, I did notice two very annoying things about the loot drop that I didn't notice before this latest patch. It's entirely possible that these things did occur before the patch, but I had never seen them before, and after the patch, I experienced it multiple times in just several games. So there's a good chance that what I'm experiencing are actual side effects of the latest patch. The first thing I noticed is that loot now clips into world objects, making it impossible to pick up. Either it's in plain sight by clipping through something basic like a box, or it's completely gone through a solid window and is unlootable on the other side. The second thing I noticed was loot rattling around violently after it dropped off of an enemy player. The problem with this is that the sound it makes while rattling around makes it pretty much impossible to hear approaching enemy players, which is the worst thing that can happen after you kill someone, as that's the most likely time you can expect another player to sneak up and try and engage you. These two things should definitely be fixed with the current loot drop system, even if they are working on a complete overhaul to the loot drop mechanic. Hopefully the next patch will contain another band-aid fix to try and reduce the instance of these issues occurring. There's also a stealth update, not really mentioned in the patch notes. I imagine that there's going to be a bunch more stuff that just wasn't mentioned in the patch notes, but the epic tier pump action shotgun in the game is actually now a buckshot instead of a slug round, which it used to be. And also it has a bayonet mounted onto it, which I totally did not die to in Firestorm at all. That sucked. Oh, you dick! Wow! He actually bayonet charged me. I'm not even upset. That was actually really cool. The Bren gun for both Firestorm and the base game got a recoil nerf, but don't worry, it's still very easy to use. It just requires a little bit of recoil control versus, well, virtually no recoil control, which is what it used to require. The timing of objectives in Firestorm and early round plane jumps feels a lot better as well. Gives more agency early round. I like this update to the game. Overall, I think Firestorm is really shaping up to be a great game. I'm addicted to playing it in solos. I think squad balance isn't particularly great right now, especially with the loot tables and armor system. It feels like you're always desperate for gear. Playing squads with randoms is an absolutely crap experience in my opinion. Thank God they added solos, otherwise I might not even be playing Firestorm. People never really seem to use their voice comms when you're playing with randoms, and the ping or communication system in the game is next to worthless compared to something like Apex. So it's a pretty bad experience queuing up with random players, unfortunately. Now, one of my issues right now with Firestorm is how the assignment system, XP, and Tides of War balances into the game mode. If you want to progress through the Tides of War system, you will do it so much faster by only playing the base game and neglecting Firestorm entirely. This is because Firestorm XP is extremely low. For example, I played a game this morning of normal breakthrough, and I earned about 19,000 XP in 28 minutes. Not bad. It wasn't my fastest score per minute game ever, but a decent and consistent rate that I can expect from playing the base game in multiple different game modes. Now, comparing that to a Firestorm game that took about 20 minutes where my squad actually won, I earned about 4,000 XP. Like, That's an insanely low amount of XP, especially for a victory in Firestorm. Players should be able to progress not only their normal class rank, but also progress their Tides of War rank in either mode equally, especially since the cosmetics for Tides of War are clearly Firestorm themed, but the XP you get from playing Firestorm is practically nothing, so progressing Tides of War just via Firestorm is going to take forever. However, it does seem that Firestorm awards a nice company coin bonus for wins, which is nice. I don't think it actually did this when the mode first came out, but again, with many of the epic tier cosmetic items only being available for real world money, company coin has gone down in value significantly. Regardless though, DICE needs to do a complete XP pass on Firestorm. My main suggestion would be massively increasing the XP you get for kills and for wins, like maybe 1500 XP for a kill and another 10,000 XP for getting a win. It seems like a fair shake based on the rate of kills and the difficulty of getting wins. That way, if you had an absolute monster of a game securing 10 kills and achieving a win, you could get something like 25,000 XP. Pretty high, but again, doing 10 kills and a win is a very rare occurrence, and I feel like it should be awarded. Plus, if you fail and don't get the win, you'll still get some good XP from the kills alone. Now, what about the assignment system that we all love so much? How does that integrate with Firestorm? You know those sort of randomly generated class-based assignments or weapon-type assignments? Well, they keep refreshing if you complete them. They give you a little extra company coin and stuff, and they're decent things to complete if you don't actually want to focus on some of the weapon-specific assignments. The problem with this, though, is that their requirements are basically impossible to complete in a Firestorm game. So the only assignments you can complete in Firestorm are really just the specific assignments for Firestorm, and there's only 5 of those. I completed those quite a while ago, and now I have virtually no assignments I can actually complete or progress in Firestorm. Or if I can progress them, the rate is so insanely slow compared to the base game that it's just not even worth it at all. I think DICE needs to update the assignment system in many ways, but now that we have Firestorm in the game and many people wishing to just focus on Firestorm exclusively, at least for a while, it makes sense to have assignments that you can complete with them. Or maybe each assignment has 2 components to it, one half for base game completion, one half to Firestorm completion or something. It's clear that a large portion of the existing player base and a new player base is predominantly interested in playing Firestorm. Obviously, the base game is fine, but there's 2 completely different components of Battlefield now. Some players want to play one component, some players want to play the other component, and not allowing people who play Firestorm to earn XP, complete assignments, really is a massive oversight by DICE and should be fixed ASAP because it's a big component to making these games more enjoyable, having a good reward system behind them, and just improving the game mode in its own. DICE has got to recognize that people are not going to be constantly jumping back and forth between the 2 game modes. Some people will choose to just focus on one. Now, on a slightly different note, there's been a pretty cool data mine leak or release by Temporyal on Reddit. He is responsible for previous leaks in the past that have all been very accurate. So there's no reason not to believe that this leak is not also accurate, but he's found some French soldier assets in the game files, which are pretty cool. They don't look crazy different from normal soldier game assets, but they do look different. They're called Secret Army, so I think it's based on resistance fighters, French resistance fighters. One thing that I know is kind of cool is that the hands have gloves on them, or sort of these fingerless gloves. And if you see that from the first person perspective, that'll actually add kind of a nice little cosmetic change while you're running around reloading weapons and stuff. So that'll be kind of nice to have some hand cosmetics that you can see from the first person perspective. People are already speculating as to when these cosmetics might release in the game. Are they in the data files now because they're going to be part of Chapter 3, maybe pop up secretly in the Tides of War, or will it be part of a Chapter 4 secret map release thing going on? DICE did just release some cosmetics in the game to better resemble resistance fighters and stuff like that, so perhaps they will come out in Chapter 3. That's my hope for sure, but we'll have to see what comes from it ultimately. For the most part, base game fans are still waiting for their next map. It really is a long period in between maps for Battlefield 5, and that really sucks. hopefully the updates, new weapons, new cosmetics and stuff can keep people moving along and engaged in the game until those new content drops come. At least we know something big is coming towards the end of the year, but until then, hang tight. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap signing off.